So I just left a message for the FDA, tearing them a new one. I was a little triggered because I just read that the FDA is going to attach a warning to the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine saying that in rare cases it might cause Guillain-Barré syndrome. When are they going to tell us that most chronic diseases come from vaccines? I basically just called them and bitched. Not that anyone cares. I mean, if anyone at the FDA cared, they wouldn't have been injecting us with poison to begin with, and they wouldn't be suppressing cures all of these years. The FDA, of course, was created in order to protect the pharmaceutical industry. The FDA is Big Pharma. I'm sure, or maybe not. I was going to say, I'm sure you've heard of the revolving door between Big Pharma and the health agencies, the government health agencies, and even companies like Monsanto, for instance, who produce the genetically modified poison that they try to sell to us as food. And that, unfortunately, I think maybe most humans might still not know the difference, or at least, I don't know. I mean, in a lot of the world, they do know, and GMOs are banned in many countries. In America, I don't know how many Americans are aware and try to stay away from that. But anyway, yeah, that triggered me big time. I mean, I was just so upset that, I'm glad the truth is finally coming out, but it just upset me because it reminded me of my own shit and everything I've been through and how the medical doctors are not trained properly. And even if they do know that the vaccines are bad for us, they don't say anything about it. They don't talk about it. They don't tell us because their paycheck is more important to them. And when it comes to cure suppression, maybe some know, most don't really understand. In my personal opinion, most medical doctors ain't that bright, okay? So like, I have my primary care doctor is actually an osteopath, DO, doctor of osteopathy. And I've tried to wake him up. Very difficult. It's very difficult to wake some of these people up. They're very programmed and they really don't understand how the human body actually works, what it really takes to cure a disease, what a disease really is, how it's caused, what's really going on in the body, how to reverse that. They really don't understand. And so I don't know what's going to happen when we get to the point that most, if not all people know there are cures for everything. And there aren't enough holistic doctors to go around. I mean, I guess that's where people like me would come in. There are a lot of us who've been doing this kind of work for a long time, helping other people with chronic diseases, getting information out to them. I myself I like to think I've maybe saved thousands of people's lives by now with what I have done over the years. Even if it's hundreds, hey, whatever. But I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, if we the people are taking back control of the systems, then instead of going to the medical system to be cured of a disease, you might go to your neighbor who had to cure that same disease themselves. If you can't get an appointment with a naturopath or some other holistic doctor, because there aren't going to be enough to go around for a while, until more are trained. Unless, perhaps, I don't know what the plan is, perhaps there will be some pharmaceutical cures that will be released. I'm sure there are some. So perhaps they will be released. And then the medical doctors, because they're told what to do and what to prescribe, will say, oh, okay, well, now I can give you this. Oh, look, you're cured. I just hope that the medical doctors don't take all the credit for curing diseases, because for the most part, they've done shit over the years. Yeah, I mean, go to an MD if you break your leg, God forbid, or you're in a car accident, or you actually need a surgery that can't be avoided by seeing a holistic doctor. Or you have an acute illness that they can actually cure, because they can't cure all of them. But, for the most part, especially when it comes to chronic diseases, they're pretty useless. I mean, my own doctor asked me yesterday if I'm on medicine for MS. I'm like, no. They don't understand most drugs are not actually medicine. Most drugs are just a product sold for profit. It's not medicine. Some drugs are medicine. There are some drugs that do cure things, and those are considered medicine to me, in my head, in my personal opinion. But for the most part, no, most drugs are not medicine. It's a product. I mean, even just now calling the FDA, they're like, if you're a consumer, press this number. If you're a doctor, press this number. Consumer. We are consumers to them because it's a business. The conventional medical system is a business. If I had the money to pay out of pocket for some of the tests and things that I need to get done every once in a while, I wouldn't even go to a conventional doctor. I wouldn't even use the conventional medical system. Or if I lived in a state where I could have a naturopathic doctor as a primary care doctor, which I hope will happen soon, someday, I don't know, then I wouldn't even go to these doctors. They can't do anything for me. In Massachusetts, where I am, Governor Baker signed the licensing bill to license naturopathic doctors. I believe it was back in January of 2017. They're still not licensed here because what's in Boston? We have the universities, we have some medical schools, we have pharmaceutical companies, we have the hospitals that are supposed to be some of the best hospitals in the world, and who the fuck are they curing? Nobody. Not of chronic diseases anyway. Mess. The whole thing's a fucking mess. So yeah, like I just went off. I just called the FDA and I fucking went off. And I guess I'm on here on my channel going off as well. It's really sad to me that all these people have suffered and died all of these years of these diseases. I mean, I think truth is slowly starting to come out, but you know, not soon enough, because this shit didn't have to happen to me. I didn't have to be sick my whole life. I don't have to still be trying to permanently cure myself. I don't have to be going through this. And there are all these other people who are suffering even more than I am, who've been sicker even longer than I have, who've died, who are murdered every day, even people who've dropped dead of the fucking COVID vaccine and all the other vaccines, and nothing is done. Nobody helps them. It's all just swept under the fucking rug, you know? I just posted on Telegram that I'm mad at the doctors for hiding this stuff. I mean, the ones who know better anyway, you know? I'm mad at them for not even being trained properly to know any better. I'm mad at the government health agencies for purposely making us sick and killing us. I'm mad at the media for lying to us about everything. You know, I guess I should say I'm also mad at the deep state for censoring and suppressing people like me and for targeting people like me. I also mentioned to the FDA during my phone call that, yeah, I'm being targeted, I'm being gang stalked, and that's why my disease progressed. But at least I am awake and aware enough to know that there are cures for everything, and I have access to those cures, and I have a mom and dad who support me. Because on my own, I would have been dead already. And so I can't even imagine what it's like to have a chronic disease, to not know the cures, or to not have any support. I mean, it's an incredibly difficult thing to go through. So no wonder so many people just drop dead. And I feel terribly for them. I feel really sad because, you know, that easily could have been me. And if I'm not careful, it easily could be me. So I'm glad it's coming out. But still, you know, this should have happened a long time ago. And all of this shit actually never should have happened. Okay. I had to get that off my chest. If you've watched this long, thank you for watching. Oh, and then I have to say, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a researcher, I'm not even a skeptic. Actually, I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist who believes that there are cures for everything and that the vaccines are bad for us. But if you need medical advice, ask your doctor. Especially if it's a conventional doctor, because they'll fucking help you, alright? Talk to your doctor. Yeah, okay. Bye. Have a nice day.